driving an Audi RS3. Coming up, Evie's gonna haul me first out. But first, information explosion! The Audi RS3 is built on the same platform as the Audi S3 we reviewed previously with Evie. I wonder what this person's doing. That's what I expected. See, we're already having fun in the RS3. The RS3 is like the S3 and Golf R, except even more performance-ier. Yeah, that's a word. Let's begin with interior.
The angular nature of the interior really reminds me of like a vehicle from an 80s video game.
You got polygon elements here. This is an optional package with all the green accents on the interior that are really adding a lot of flavor.
Throughout, there's stitching here on the seats.
Speaking of the seats too, that honeycomb stitch pattern I think looks really, really cool.
This soft material,
Alcantara.
it feels. Is this also Alcantara?
Sure is.
It feels so nice, but I really wonder how it'll hold up long term to greasy pizza fingers.
I can't help but feel a little bit judged as you're talking about it. Look, you get some slob in here and he's just gonna get his mitts all over this stuff. Speaking of greasy pizza fingers, got this big sea of black plastic here, and black plastic isn't really a problem as long as it's not in high touch zones. This is a high touch zone. Just looking at it, it's already got some greasy, dusty action happening here. So keep a microfiber handy. As for space, the A3 is a small sedan. So when the front seat position is set for my preference, there is just enough clearance for my knees and my feet. Headroom isn't abundant, but it's workable. And then the middle position is kind of a non-starter. Pretty high center tunnel and fairly limited headroom. As for cargo space, it is a cozy 8.3 cubic feet. You do have 40-20-40 split fold seats, so that does give you a little bit of extra room if you need it. And it is a wide pass-through when you use it, but again, just not a ton of space. Small car, small trunk. Kiddo, how is it getting in and out of this thing?
It was pretty easy. I like how the car is so low.
Yeah, it is a really low car. Did you have any other thoughts about the car?
I really love how stylish it is.
I agree. I think it is very stylish. And what about you? Any issues getting the car seat installed?
We now have just a booster, and that was very simple to install. There are like little latch garage door
I feel like we might have
covers.
reached the pinnacle of latch cover now, because they just sort of like slide up. You'll never lose them, and they elegantly cover the latch points when they're not in use. I think this is the way to do it. Well done, Audi.
I do know that when we installed the full car seat in the S3, it was a little bit problematic to get in the door opening. So if you have a full-size car seat, that might be difficult.
Yeah, and if you have a rear-facing car seat, it's going to be real cozy. As for the crash test, NHTSA hasn't rated the RS3, but the IAHS did rate the A3, and it is a top safety pick. There's also a full suite of active safety assist, so you got lane keeping assist, automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection, and 10 airbags. With all that said, and keeping in mind size, is this thing family friendly?
Ooh, that's tough.
I'm gonna say it's not family friendly. If you want a family friendly vehicle with the same platform, go with the Volkswagen Golf. Rear window test. Almost.
So close.
Armrest test. Okay, if I'm driving in a comfortable 8 and 4, it's a little bit of a distance to the outboard perch here, but I can make it work. The inboard is interesting because you've got this sliding armrest, and it should come up and down, but I think this one is a little bit wonky right now. I'm gonna go, oh, that is very soft though. I'm gonna go 75% inboard, 60% outboard. Hey, would you like to see more videos like this where we review cars as a family plus the occasional helicopter adventure? If so, feel free to subscribe. Style! To me, the style of the Audi RS3 is like performance car bingo. Wide fenders, check. Black wheels, check. Squat stance, check. Massive grille, check. Non-functional rear grille, check. Of course, you gotta have a little rear spoiler.
And red brake calipers.
Check, 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 check. Bingo! Speaking of check, one element I really like is the checkered flag LED headlight motif.
That's cool because I feel like I haven't seen that before.
The checkered flag?
Yeah.
And you never will. For me, the Kyalami green paint really pulls it all together for two reasons. One, it is properly outrageous, so people know you're serious about having a good time. And two, it's free. It's one of the rare free paint colors. There are only two free ones, and one of them is this.
Normally, I wouldn't choose this color for a vehicle, but it really works.
It does, though if I know you, I think you're more of a python yellow metallic kind of girl.
Ooh, yes.
What do you guys think? Do you like the look of the Audi RS3 style? If so, if no, tell us in the comment section. In motion! Diving into the in motion segment here, there is a hum that I hear coming from the vehicle right now, and when I left foot the brake, it goes away. I believe whoever had this RS3 previously
Was a spooky ghost.
was a spooky ghost. How did you know? And then at the end of the video, we'll unmask them Scooby-Doo style. No, I suspect that they were probably driving this thing very aggressively, and maybe this is some interesting whining from the front carbon ceramic brakes, because we didn't do that on the streets.
No.
While we're driving though, let's go through a few of the drive modes. So let's pop it into comfort real quick and see how the ride quality feels. We got a little bit of a bump here, and still taut, but not uncomfortable.
Yeah, really surprising actually.
And now let's go the exact opposite direction, and we'll put it in our RS performance mode. You can immediately feel that it gets firmer, and also you hear the transmission kind of proactively giving you those downshifts. That's fun. With a car like this, you never want it to be too soft because you bought a performance car and you would like the suspension to remind you of that fact, even when you want it in comfort mode. As we depart from a stop here, I'll note that the dual clutch transmission, if you're going slow speed, it does not have the finesse of an automatic transmission with a torque converter. So you can really feel some of that slight clunkiness when you're going around like parking lot speeds. And it's not a real problem, but it doesn't feel as smooth as a traditional automatic transmission. What you do get though with the dual clutch transmission are speedy downshifts. Here's a downshift, tap, ooh, that's nice. Very smooth, very prompt, and then you can do stuff like flooring it, whee, and then braking hard. Oh good, the carbon ceramics, despite all their noise, still work pretty darn well. Unsurprisingly, there's a lot of power here, and in a moment I'm going to find a spot where we can try the launch control. Kiddo, would you like to try launch control?
Yeah.
That's my daughter. Sweetie, would you like to try launch control?
We'll just listen to your daughter.
Yeah, that's my wife. Launch control is the fastest way to accelerate from a stop. I'll talk about a couple features. There's an RS torque splitter, which basically the way the system works is it can direct up to 50% of engine power to the rear wheels, and from there it can send that power either 100% to the right wheel or 100% to the left wheel. It's not a proper drift mode. You really need to overdrive the rear tires to get the thing to step out in a good drifty way, but I'm gonna go fast now, kiddo. Let's see how this goes. And sweetie, you can come along for the ride too. How's this feel? Was that fun?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, sometimes when you drive quickly, you'll spill a little lemonade. That's okay.
It's all over the back seat.
That's the splash of a life well lived. Make sure I'm in the fun mode now. Okay. There's something really nice about the 5-cylinder engine sound. That it's almost melodic. I won't say it's as melodic as that LFA by Lexus I drove many years ago at all, but it's sort of in that same vein of like, ooh, it sounds like it's singing to you. And then I'm gonna real quick stop over here and get us set up for some full throttle acceleration.
Ooh.
Let me very quickly thank the sponsor for today's video, Flying Eyes Sunglasses. I didn't plan this, but I'm just gonna pop these guys right out of here and note that Flying Eyes makes eyewear for aviators and for people who wear helmets like motorcyclists or race car drivers, because these thin temples are so thin that they fit underneath the headset. Perhaps you're flying in a helicopter and your noise canceling headset wouldn't work if there was a little bit of a gap here. No problem with Flying Eyes. They can make it that thin because it's made out of a material called resilimide that's super bendy, and it's very, very hard to break.
These are the ophthalmic line of flying eyes, and they come with these removable magnetic tinted lenses. They're sunglasses when I need them, and also my everyday glasses.
If you would appreciate aviation grade eyewear, click the link in the description below. Use the promo code Micah to save 10% on flying eyes. All right, let's try launch control. Left foot down, right foot going. Launch control program activated. Sounds kind of cool. And away we go. Ooh. Ooh. That,
I love this kind of car.
oh yeah, you can really hear that 5-cylinder. Woo! So what we have is a package that is very quick and sounds good doing it. Though this isn't really the right environment to drive it in. Let's go somewhere windier. All right, we have come to a windy mountain road. Actually,
And it's so dark.
Yeah, the sun has gone away. But family, if you will indulge me, I'm going to take just a couple of minutes to see how this thing drives when driven in a spirited fashion, not dangerous, but spirited fashion on a windy mountain road. You can really hear that engine tone too. Oh, that's fun. So I've got it in manual here. Let's come up to this little left-hander. And I'm noticing it doesn't take a ton of movements to get the car to steer. What I like is that it's firm, but not too firm. This is a fairly rough road, and we're not losing contact with the road by skipping around on it because we have a needlessly firm suspension. Man, those brakes feel very good, very confidence-inspiring. And I love the snappy responses from the dual clutch transmission. When you up and down shift, it's just right there exactly when you need it. There's no delay. What I'm curious about is coming out of this corner, as I start to get on, oh, that's super cool. So you can really get on earlier than you would expect out of the corner because the rear differential does a really great job sending that power to the outside tire. So we got this big corner here, see? Ooh, yeah, there we go. And as you come out of the corner, you can really start easing into it sooner than you'd expect. And you see the tail kind of squirts around just a little bit. You can carry a lot of speed in and then out of the corner.
I'm feeling very grateful for these supportive seats.
This is a very playful package. It sounds good and it keeps a good bit of speed. So, and also we're losing the sun. Let's get back into suburbia. All right, I've had my fun, but I think we should find out what Evie thinks behind the wheel of the RS3. Evie's at the wheel, and how do you feel right now?
I feel very intimidated, but woo!
Question number one, how's your visibility?
Good, I can even see past this pillar, which often gets in my way.
Nice, and then do me a favor, floor it. Whee! How's that feel?
Feels like I can really get ahead of traffic.
We're coming to a stop here. How do you like the brakes?
I like them. I know they've got to be overbuilt because this car is so fast, but it's still very easy to brake smoothly.
Not only are they overbuilt, but these are the carbon ceramic brakes, which are part of a $5,500 performance package.
Ooh.
So they can really deal with
My slowly coming to a stop.
They can deal with your slow stopping and also repeated hard lapping. As we depart here, tell me, how does the steering wheel feel?
It feels good. It feels nice and light.
Wow, that guy stopped way into the intersection. Well, that's a fun note to end on. Okay, I'm getting back in the driver's seat. In total, we've got a very fun package that is quick and capable, but I think also very lively. Sometimes you have cars that are straight up fast, but not necessarily fun, and I think this is a fun package. I'd be really curious to drive it on a track, though.
Oh.
Aw,
It didn't work.
you don't have my clapping powers. Moving forward to emotion factor.
Everything, the way it drives, the way it looks on the interior, the way it looks on the exterior, like this is all emotion.
I was thinking about the fact that it kind of goes down the list of senses. By sight, yes, my eyes are seared green and it's a very cool, sporty shape. By sound, go down a couple of gears. Plenty of motion there.
By touch, even.
You've got this kind of nice tactile quality here with the Alcantara. By smell, when you hop inside, it smells premium. And what about taste? Sweetie, do you want to demonstrate? Okay, you don't have to taste the RS3, but I think the point is made that there's a lot of potential emotion here. If you're feeling emotionally drawn to buy an Audi RS3 of your very own, I'm guessing you're going to need to sell your current car first. Actually, you know what? No, you probably don't need to sell your current car first.
True.
This is just going to go add to your list. But if you want to know how much you should pay for an Audi RS3, click the Kelley Blue Book listing link in the description below. Kelley Blue Book, the pricing leader for more than 90 years. Forward to remarks. Remark number one, I'm just gonna talk about drive modes. You got quite a few to move through here, and there's a little RS button on here that can automatically put you into your RS individual mode. And I like the fact that it's all encompassing. Ride quality, steering, throttle response, and drivetrain behavior. And of course your torque split too. So if you're in comfort mode, it's mostly going to the front. If you're in dynamic mode, mostly to the rear. Remark number two, infotainment. We have a 10.1-inch infotainment display. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto come standard. How do you find this?
Well, I find it a lot easier to use from the driver's seat because it's completely oriented.
Not for you. It's angled to me.
Right?
Come to Micah.
It is also at an interesting angle for the sun. I wonder on a brighter day how much that might interfere with seeing it.
From my angle right now, all I see is sunroof. So there might be a little bit of glare potential there.
It's pretty well laid out. The icons are color-coded, which makes them easy to see out of the corner of your eye. There are pleasant clicks when you select things.
Yeah, you get a little bit of that haptic feedback. This little volume wheel is really interesting. So you can tap forward and back in different quadrants. But to turn the volume up and down, you kind of have to rotate around it, small circles. Iguana, what are you doing here? That's very weird. This might take a little getting used to, but I don't think it's necessarily a make or break. I think you get used to that with some time. I did notice, however, that we're missing a 360-degree camera system. Maybe it's because we're in a family and we really like the extra visibility around us when pulling out to make sure we're not running over bicycles or squirrels. But I think the inclusion of a 360 cam would make a lot of sense in a car that's this elite. Sweetie?
Yes.
Can I make a trim recommendation?
Yes.
Our trim recommendation is which trim will give you the essential features you'd regret not getting, but at the lowest possible price. To my mind, the basic, roughly $59,000 RS3 trim is perfectly fine. The one we're driving has all sorts of little carbon fiber add-ons and interior upgrades and little trim bits here and there. I like them, but I don't think they're really necessary. Then again, if you're going this much on a car, you'll probably want to get it exactly as you like. I'll add that the dynamic package, which costs $5,500, ups the top speed to 180 miles an hour from 155. To me, that's academic because I'm never going to go that fast. Maybe on a racetrack. It also adds a carbon fiber engine cover, which does look really nice, but it also adds carbon ceramic front brakes. And to me, as a guy who has a fair bit of experience with track days and lapping, knowing that the brakes are going to be solid all day long and they can just kind of take all that heat and all those cycles, I think that might be worth it. Interestingly, when Evie reviewed the Audi S3, she decided that it was too much for her, and we made the suggestion that maybe the Audi A3, which is the same basic package but much less sporty, might be more appropriate. So if the RS3 feels a little bit rich by price or horsepower, there are other options. The S3 is a step down, and the A3 is a step down below that. As for the competitors, we've got the Cadillac CT4-V Blackwing, the Mercedes-AMG CLA 45, and the BMW M2. I know we're really more of a family car channel, but what do you guys think? Should we try to review maybe that M2? Tell us in the comments. Oh, and also tell us in the comments if there are any remarks that we missed. Synopsis! In thinking about the essence of the Audi RS3, it's small, it's agile, and it's not afraid to sing to have a good time. To me, it is the Kermit the Frog of small performance sedans. Family, I think we've done a good job reviewing the Audi RS3. May I have a 5? And a 5? And you, come get your high five. Aha!